On this episode of Living in Middle Georgia, we are on our way to a reinspection. So, help somebody buy a new construction house. And of course, you have an initial walkthrough, you have a blue tape walkthrough. You can also order a home inspection, but at the end, I always like doing what's called a reinspection. It's a $100 fee depending on which home inspector that you choose, but what they'll actually do is come back out and check to see if the builder completed 100% of the tasks that were found on the home inspection. Now, when it comes down to it, it depends. When you purchase a new construction house, there's a lot of things that can potentially be wrong with that property. And sometimes I'll get lists of 50, 60, 70 plus pages of actual items on this home inspection list. And there's gonna be things in the attic. There's gonna be stuff with electrical, with plumbing, with stuff in the attic. And we wanna make sure that we have a trained professional checking these things out. It's not a bad idea. So, before we get started, we gotta make a quick pit stop. Very important for those that don't know how to use roundabouts here in Middle Georgia. Look at this. Okay, we're coming to the roundabout. We see this car off to the left. It doesn't mean that we stop because they didn't go this way. It means that they yield, right? And you just flow. There's no reason to stop if you don't need to stop. Quick trip! I got the sugar-free energy drink addiction that I'll slowly but surely beat one day. Hey, might take a little bit of time, but I'd have a full day of real estate today. It's never a bad idea to be able to get a little bit of hype juice before getting the day rolling. On a serious note, if you actually look up the data online, when we look at builders, I think it's somewhere between 77 and 85% of all new construction homes have some type of major, and I mean, I'm not talking like, oh, the paint got rubbed off somewhere, you know, somewhere needs a little drywall fix. I'm talking needs a major repair that if not handled, you're gonna spend some money on. So it's just one of those things that I'm not willing to risk, no matter what happens in the future, especially for any future home that I'm going to purchase. I will always get an inspection. And there's a few different levels of inspection. So let's say that you're building from the ground up and you have the luxury of, I own the land and I'm gonna build my own home. There's really 3 inspections that you can get. The first inspection is gonna be as soon as they pour the concrete slab for your house. Now, I understand that there's a bunch of different types of foundations that you can purchase for a home. After speaking to a plethora of home inspectors that are worth a darn, have done thousands and thousands, if not over 10,000 home inspections, because there are inspectors here in our local area that have clocked in over 10,000. They say that there's nothing better than a well-built slab home. And when it comes down to the slab, you can get an inspection post-slab. Now, you can also get an inspection pre-drywall. So when all the wood is actually up on that property, they have the electrical and everything's open, that's another time that you can get an inspection done. But usually what ends up happening if you're going to buy a pre-owned or a new construction house that's already built, you're just going to have what's called a general home inspection. Now, that general home inspection is going to cover things like the foundation. If you can see it on the outside, it's going to, you know, be able to see if there's any flooring or any cracks and stuff like that from what they can see. They're going to check plumbing, they're going to check electrical, they're going to check the HVAC, they're going to get up in the attic, and they're going to check for general items. Personally, for the majority of homes, that's enough. Now, if you are getting an older home, there are things like mold tests that you can do. There's these crazy little machines that spin really, really fast. And they'll send those off to the University of Georgia and check to see if there's any mold in the air, which is really important, especially if you're going to get into an older home. That's one of those that I would recommend. If you're on septic, you absolutely have to get a septic scope. If you are on well, I would 100% get your well tested and the water tested as well. If you have to extend due diligence is the time period from which you go under contract and the time that you have to actually inspect that property. it's worth getting it extended. Now, if you're in one of those battles where, oh, there's somebody else that's willing to, you know, have a better deal or have a shorter due diligence period, bro, walk away from that house. There are so many houses out there. I understand we get emotional, we get really excited when we're looking for a property, but properly inspecting that property to make sure that you're not gonna have to buy or dig a new well, that you're not gonna have to get all these major items fixed down the road, you're gonna be excited about, okay? You don't wanna have to come out of pocket thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on a property that you never should have had to. But we're gonna pull up to this home inspection here, reinspection, and we're gonna take a look. Oh, something you'll learn about real estate. So get here, the builder thought the inspection was at noon. So played around a little bit, found a key at the main building, got the key, doesn't work. Got the other agent on the phone finally, got it coordinated. The builder is on his way. Sometimes there's just a lot of hiccups during real estate. Why? Because there's people involved and we people are imperfect, okay? So when it comes down to real estate, I mean, you got myself involved, right? I'm helping the buyer. Got the buyer, have the seller agent, have the builder, have the home inspector, have the home appraiser, have the, you know, loan officer if there's a loan officer involved in the transaction. On top of that, you have the attorney's office. You have the city, you have all of these people involved. So why do you think anything would go smooth? Because real estate, it's a weird thing. There's so many people involved that stuff always goes wrong. It's all about mitigation. How can we, right, not just be reactionary, but how can we be proactive? And the thing is, with all of the transactions that I've worked, you always have to be proactive. And once you see one situation happen, then you can actually better prepare for that situation to happen in the future. So typically in situations like this, we have a 24-hour notice and then we have a 2-hour notice, meaning that 24 hours prior to an appointment, we reach out, and then another 2 hours prior, we reach out again. Successful. A little action going on. That was actually the builder who built these houses over here, Wind and River. Man, fantastic experience, by the way. Was able to get all of the closing costs for my client paid for, was able to get a $7,900 fence put in as well. 100% of the inspection items are completed. There's a couple minor things that we didn't even ask for, like some cosmetic cracks in the garage. And he's fixing them all. So we had a fantastic experience. Client won huge. Was able to get about $7,000 off the home as well. So she overall, I think it was somewhere between $14,000 and $16,000 I was able to save her on top of all the other things that are going on. You know, all she had to do was come out of pocket. I think the original home inspection was $350, then the $100 for the reinspection. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on in real estate. And if you need any help, shoot me a call, 478-888-7808. I love helping out people. You know, this is what I do for a living. You know, we sell about a house a week, see a lot of different stuff, and you just want to pick my brain, or you're looking for an agent. Love to be able to serve you. We'll talk to you guys later. See you on the next one.